Ms Lauder.
Thank you, Madam Assistant Speaker. Start by paraphrasing Mr Rattenbury's start to his speech. It appears to me it's clear the current government isn't working very well as it could, and improvements could be made. And this is just one more example where the government is failing ACT clubs, and they failed them back in 2015 when the Public Accounts Committee tabled its report on its inquiry into the future of the club sector, and it's failing them again now. When I came to Canberra, I think it was in 1988, I experienced the community club model for the first time. Having lived mostly in Melbourne, but in some other places before, this was a sort of new experience to me. And my husband and I joined some clubs, as many Canberrans did. And you join clubs based on shared values, shared interests, and also geographic location. And I could, embarrass my husband by mentioning here that when he was a teenager, he played piano accordion in a band at the Harmony German Club because he came from a German family. Luckily for me, he doesn't play the piano accordion anymore.
You're missing out.
No, I'm not. So, he doesn't play it anymore, but they joined the German club because of those shared interests and sense of community. And this is why clubs were established in the first place, because of shared interests. Over time, we joined other clubs based on our own and our children's sporting and other interests, for example. So people join clubs for a particular reason, and they usually understand what the clubs are doing to support the local sporting groups and community and interest groups. So I would like now to turn to the many comments I've received from constituents, and whilst I've received comments from people right across Canberra, I'm going to focus on just a few from my own electorate to highlight the concerns that people have facing them in their own particular choices of joining clubs, and I'll read from a couple. The Tuggeranong Valley Rugby League Football Club said, and I note that many of these emails have gone to many, if not all, MLAs as well, so you should be familiar with these contents. The Tuggeranong Valley Rugby League Football Club said, therefore we as a community club do not understand the ACT government's determination to change a system where the obvious goodwill shown by the clubs in contributing more than is required. A centrally administered fund as proposed by the ACT government is not a more efficient mechanism than is currently in place. Another one. My wife and I are active members of the combined Probus Club of Lake Tuggeranong. We've received considerable assistance from the Southern Cross Club Tuggeranong and more recently from the Vikings Club Town Centre and Vikings Club Erindale. In particular, the Probus Club holds its general meetings in the Town Centre Club every month at no cost to us for the use of quite a large room sufficient to hold the 80 to 90 members who attend regularly. And it seems to me that the proposal to place club community contributions into a government-run, centrally administered pool of funds will most probably lead to these types of small groups being unable to meet to help needy community causes. My wife and I appreciate enormously the facilities that are provided to us and other members of the Canberra community more widely at no cost. In return, of course, people in the community reciprocate through support of the clubs through their membership and use of club facilities. Therefore, I'd like it placed on the record that my wife and I are both very much against the suggestion of a government centrally administered fund, no matter how it might be dressed up. From a member of the Nibonchi Judo Club at Vikings Lanyon. Our not-for-profit judo club is currently sponsored by the Lanyon Vikings Club. Nibonchi Judo is a small club run by families for families. We regularly and very successfully compete in local and national competitions where we proudly represent Canberra and Judo ACT. As a not-for-profit judo club, The government's plan could result in the Vikings withdrawing some or all of their essential financial and venue support, in turn impacting the many families that make up our club and their ability to continue judo and keep representing Canberra. From the chairman of the Superannuated Commonwealth Officers Association, which goes across the ACT, SCOA Australia runs activities for our members in various states in the ACT. This includes regular quarterly open meetings for members with speakings of topics of both particular and general interest. These generally attract between 50 and 90 attendees and are held in venues at ACT clubs, generally provided free of charge as part of their current community contribution obligations. We're concerned under the new proposed arrangements with the ACT government distributing all community contributions through a centrally administered fund, are focused on broader community progress and initiatives, may mean that this falls through the cracks. From another constituent in Gordon, I'm perplexed by the Chief Minister's statement that his new charitable fund aims to support a wider range of activities and will provide targeted support, particularly as there is substantial evidence to demonstrate that this is already happening. As a matter of principle, I'm totally opposed to governments and/or political parties using community groups for political advantage, i.e. free publicity and pork barrelling. At the very outset, the deceptive title of Chief Minister's Charitable Fund politicises the issue. While I have the greatest respect for Hands Across Canberra, I haven't seen any sound evidence to demonstrate that Hands Across Canberra would be better able to distribute funds in a more effective, efficient, impartial and social beneficial way than the clubs are already doing. In addition, I'm concerned that precious money, which should be going to needy and worthy community groups, will become annual expenditure for the additional layers of administration needed. From a member of the Valley Vikings and Southern Cross clubs, says they provide financial service and in-kind support for several social, educational and community groups in Tuggeranong and Woden in which I participate. I can look at the Southern Cross website, see the list of local community groups they support. I can even nominate which group gets a portion of my spend at the club. Valley Vikings also lists the community and sporting groups that they support. The Southern Cross Club have said they do not believe there's a basis for significant and potential harmful reforms to the community contributions model. Mr Ramsey has responded to a number of the writers, and one of them has responded back. I'm sure responded back is not very good grammar. However, they've said to Mr Ramsey, your response below, either through ignorance or willful design,